4972AO on one count of trespass on property after warning. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I represent myself.
All right. That's for you.
Your Honor, state did convey an offer of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return absent medical emergency.
All right. All right, ma'am. So you're here on this trespass charge. Review the affidavit, found probable cause. I'll set your bond at $100. If you want to resolve your case today, it's an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and a no return unless for medical reasons. Do you want to walk out of here with your bond, or do you want to resolve your case? Do you have any questions?
Sorry, no money for the case.
It's $268. What's the court cost on this?
$273.
$273.
No money.
I'm sorry?
No money because homeless for 6 months. How can I get the money?
Yeah, so we're not gonna make you pay it if you don't have it.
No, thank you.
Okay, so, but you wanna resolve it?
Yeah, resolve
Okay.
case. Yeah, no money, thank you.
All right, you understand by resolving this case, I'm not gonna give you a lawyer?
No lawyer.
All right, if you're not a US citizen, you could be deported. You understand that?
I'm the citizen of the United States.
All right, and if you've ever been convicted of a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, by entering this plea today, it could subject you to involuntary civil confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, never.
Guilty or no contest today?
Thank you.
No, which one are you pleading, guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept your no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days of credit for 2 days. Court costs, I'll reduce down to a judgment for you, and there'll be a no return to 1414 Cool Avenue, which is ORMC, okay? Orlando Regional Medical Center. 30 days to appeal will get you to sign a plea form. Have you ever seen one of those plea forms before? Ever seen one of those?
She said,
Yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, thank you. Good luck, ma'am. Your name, sir?
James Green, sir.
All right, 22MM 170AE, one count of inhaling, ingesting harmful chemicals. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
I'd like to plead guilty to it, sir.
Well, before we get to whether or not how you want to plead, I just need to know if you want to represent yourself or if you want to see if you qualify for an attorney.
Represent myself, sir.
Okay? All right, review the affidavit, found probable cause, and I'll set your bond at $100, or I'm sorry, that's not yours. Yeah, $100. State, do you have an offer?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. There's no offer on your case, okay? You sure you don't want a lawyer?
he didn't offer one. That's all
I'm
right.
sure I'd like to plead guilty if I could.
So there's no offer, so. Is it a pleable? I mean, I could take a plea.
Your Honor, it is a pleable. The reason state didn't is because it seems to be a fairly lengthy history of the same thing. And it's not a usual charge, one that we've pled out here before.
Right.
So I was not comfortable conveying one at this time.
Well, if you want to plea to me without any promises of what the sentence will be, you can do that, but I could sentence you all the way up to 60 days in the Orange County Jail. I could sentence you to credit time served or anywhere in between.
I'd like to plead no contest.
Okay.
Well,
Knowing that I could sentence you up to 60 days in jail, you want to plead no contest to the bench?
no contest.
Okay. All right. I'll accept your no contest plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty. What was it, airplane glue, something like that?
Airplane glue.
Yes. And I believe the last time, according to CCIS, 2012, possession by sale, harmful chemicals, that was Volusia, it was an adjudication.
It was 11 years ago.
Inhalation in Lake in 2001. So I believe the other inhalations have been pretty far removed from what I can see just on CCIS.
All right, I'll adjudicate you guilty, credit time served, costs. I'll give you a year to pay, okay? 30 days to appeal. Good luck.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yep. Sentence them to a credit for due. Your name, sir? Or, what's your name? Either one. This one? This gentleman? All right.
He just got here, though, so pay attention. The judge
Hey.
is talking to you.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
All right, what's your name?
Dustin Salmons.
All right, 2022 CO 897AO, soliciting without a permit, review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, set your bond at 100. State, do we have an offer on this one?
Yes, Your Honor, it'd be a withhold credit time served.
All right, you want to talk to your lawyer about that, withhold credit time served, or do you want to take it?
Oh, I've been sitting and booking the 23 hours to throw it out, but I'll take, you said time served?
Yes. You
It
want
was
to do
just brought
that?
up, Your Honor, that's what, let me see.
I'm sorry?
Sound-
I didn't get a chance to speak to him because he was just brought up.
Okay.
So.
Take a
didn't know
moment.
about how long.
You're ready.
All right, so listen.
The gentleman in the chair, what's your name? What is it? What happened to Jalen Curtis?
He's on the bench.
Oh, he's next? Okay.
They weren't here, so I was skipping them, but they showed up.
Your Honor, he will accept the state.
All right. All right, you understand by resolving this case today, we're not gonna have a trial?
Right,
You're not a US citizen, you could be deported for this?
right,
All right. Guilty or no contest?
no contest.
Accept your no contest plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 days of credit for 2 days. I'll reduce your cost to a judgment, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Who am I doing next? Curtis or, yeah. All right, so your name?
Curtis.
Your last
Oh, yeah.
name, Curtis?
Jalen Curtis.
All right, sir, you're here in 2022 CF 8597AO, 3 counts of battery, 1 count of criminal mischief. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. Appoint the public defender, and I'll stay your bonds. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, okay?
I don't have a bond.
I'm sorry?
I have a bond.
You have a bond?
Oh, wait.
You just stayed all of the bonds, Your Honor,
Yeah, I
correct?
stayed them all.
You didn't say the price. You just said the bonds.
It's right here.
I stayed the bonds.
All right.
All right, now, Mr. Tripp. All right, sir, you're here in 2022 CF 8591AO, 1 count of fleeing or attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens, driving while lights suspended, and tampering with physical evidence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll set your bond on count 1 at $5,000, count 2 at $100, and or I'm sorry, $150, and count 3 at $150. Okay.
Here you go, Mr. Tripp.
We have arraignments. Your name, sir? All right, sir, 2020 MM 5879AO, you're here for arraignment on 1 count of petty theft. State, do you have an offer?
Yes, Your Honor, State made an offer of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no contact with the victim, McDonald at Mears. Cost of investigation of $128.96 to Orlando Police Department,
Did you guys,
and restitution in the amount of $21.60.
did you guys serve him?
All right. All right, sir, so you're here for arraignment. Today's your day to decide how you want to proceed in this case.
That's what I'm saying.
If you want to resolve your case today, the offer is an adjudication of guilt,
Okay.
credit time served, court costs, cost of prosecution, cost of investigation of $128.96 to the Orlando Police Department, and restitution in the amount of $21.60, and no contact with the alleged victim. Do you want to accept that offer today, or do you want to enter a not guilty plea? Do you have any questions? Does he have a PD? I don't have a PD
No,
listed.
it was a summons case, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
He
You don't
just,
even have, he's not even arrested on this case, it's just a summons thing.
Yeah, so 0 for 0?
Unless you're gonna detain him today. and
No.
give him one day? No?
I mean, I don't, unless he wants it.
Sometimes, sir, when you got no service.
Right, 0 for 0. No, I know, he's not gonna get any credit. There's no credit.
Like that.
It's okay.
do you have any facts?
Yeah, would you like a factual basis?
Yeah, because,
On or about March 1st of 2020, Mears taxi driver McDonald picked up and transported the defendant, Mr. Atkins. The defendant exited, stated he returned with a fare, $21.60. Defendant never returned. Victim called police. Law enforcement responded, canvassed, they didn't get them, they did a bulletin,
It was a taxi?
and then photo lineup, administered, the victim, identified the defendant. All events occurred in Orange County, Florida.
Know each other.
Can I just pay it and we, can I?
No, that doesn't work that way.
Oh, yeah.
You wanna resolve it or do you wanna wait?
Yeah, I resolve it.
You want the deal?
Yeah.
All right,
Yes, Your Honor, he's gonna accept.
okay. In the back, what's your name? We have an offer for Washik. He's got 37. 97 días.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
And what's his name?
All right,
Washik.
Mr. Washik, 2022 MM 4854AO will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. The public defender has been appointed to represent you. His next court date will be Division 63.
The pretrial conference is August the 24th at 9 a.m.
August 24th at 9 a.m. with Judge
Judge Bigney,
Bigney,
courtroom 10B.
courtroom 10B, okay? All right, thank you. And we have a plea form for this gentleman.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, is this your signature on this form here?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all right. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported for this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And if you've ever been convicted of a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, by entering this plea today, it could subject you to involuntary civil confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Guilty or no contest?
Contest.
Accept or no contest plea, adjudicate you guilty. Court cost of prosecution, cost of investigation of $128.96 to the Orlando Police Department. I'll give you a year to pay that. Restitution, the amount of $21.60. Who's that owed to?
McDonald at Mears, I'm gonna follow up with a restitution order, Your Honor.
Okay. And then no contact with that same individual?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, 30 days to appeal. Good luck. Are you, what's your name, sir, in the back?
Hey, boy.
I don't have that.
What happened to Melvin Jackson?
Don't handle dependency.
I have him as time served.
Oh, okay, so he's done. How about Brenda Reynolds?
Medical,
Medical, 2022 MM 3666AO, temporarily appoint the PD.
Waive.
All right, will enter not guilty, and next court date, Reynolds.
63, Division 63, pretrial is August the 24th at 9 a.m.
In courtroom 10B with Judge Bigney. All right. All right, and then your name? All right, 2022 MM 316AA, one kind of trespassing in an occupied structure or conveyance. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bond. Do we have an offer in this case?
Not at this time.
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't have the bond, Your Honor.
250.
Was there a no return?
I didn't, but if you want it, I'll give it.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, I thought it was in a.
It was a vehicle,
Yeah. All right, we'll order the no
and then
return.
they, into a pool enclosure.
Oh, okay. All right, your name, sir?
Oh, okay.
All right, you're out on bond on a fleeing or attempting to elude law enforcement officer or resisting officer without violence, 22 CF 7540AO. You're also here on possession of firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon, resisting officer without violence, armed possession of cannabis, 22 CF 7600AO. You're here today in 22 MM 4974AO, possession of drug paraphernalia. Review that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. I'll stay your bond. State what's the status of the case that he's out on bond.
On the 22 CF 7600,
Yep.
state has not filed an information.
Right.
That case was just arrested, July or June 29th.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
So there, I don't believe there's even been an INN or anything like that yet. And then in 22 CF 7540,
Looks like at about the same time.
yes, Your Honor, I believe it was also the arrest on 629 and information has not been filed.
All right, I'll take no action in those cases. In the back, your name?
Thank you, Your Honor.
What happened to Melvin Askew?
bonded.
All right. Bynum, you said? All right. 2022 MO 854AO, disorderly conduct, review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, stay the bond. All
Your Honor, there was an offer of a withhold credit time served.
right.
We like to accept and enter plea no contest.
Okay? All right, sir, is this your signature on this form? Did you read it?
Yes, sir.
Understand it?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you could be deported for this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And if you've ever been convicted of a sexually violent or sexually motivated offense, by entering this plea today, it could subject you to involuntary civil confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Guilty or no contest? Accept your no contest plea. I'll withhold adjudication, sentence you to 2 with credit for 2. Your costs are reduced down to a judgment for you, 30 days to appeal. Good luck.
Nicholas Densler was a refusal.
All right, 22 CO 896AO, temporarily appoint waiver roll.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Densler, soliciting.
Can we, roll till tomorrow? There was an offer.
All right. Your name, sir?
Brennan?
All right. You're hearing a couple cases. The first one is 22 CF 8604AO, possession of cocaine, and 22 MO 855AO, open container. According to your financial affidavit, sir, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender, so I cannot appoint a lawyer to represent you. All right? So you have to hire your own lawyer. In this case, I found probable cause on the possession of cocaine. I'll stay your bond at 1,000. And on the open container, I'll ROR you on that case, okay? Do you have any questions, sir?
I don't qualify for pretrial.
It says no.
What about R&R?
Well, I ROR'd you on one of the charges, but not on the other.
The open container?
Yeah.
How much is my bond?
$1,000.
So it's 100 to get out?
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, even if I reduce it to $500, it's still $100. All right, your name, sir? What is it?
Ricardo Brown.
What happened to Terrell Ricardo? Oh, I'm sorry, Ricardo Brown. Yeah, all right, you're out on bond on 2020 CF 10852AO, grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, possession of MDMA ecstasy, resisting officer without violence, tampering with physical evidence. You're here today in 22 CF 8599AO, possession of a controlled substance, trespass on property after warning. Review that affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and I'll stay your bond on count 1 and count 2. I'll set at $100 state. What's the status of the case he's out on bond?
He's in comp proceedings, Your Honor.
Is he? Okay, I'll take no action on that. Thank you. In the back, your name?
That's Mr. Conklin. Charles Bird was the bond.
Charles Bird bonded.
Yes.
All right. Your name, sir?
Charles Conklin.
What is it?
Charles Conklin.
All right, 22 CF 8609AO, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and a petty theft retail. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and I'll set your bond on count 1 at $2,500, count 2, I'll stay at $100. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and no return to the scene, okay? Thank you. Your name, sir,
Franklin.
and your first name?
Nathan.
All right, you're ROR'd on 2 counts of cocaine and a loitering and prowling, 22 CF 358AO. You're here today in 22 CF 5302AO, violation of condition of pretrial release. According to this warrant, your bond is set at $1,000. I'll appoint the public defender if they haven't already been appointed to represent you.
No
And
action.
what's the status of the case that he's ROR'd on?
Your Honor, state would ask for no action at this time.
Okay. I'll take no action on that case. Did you say something?
I was asking if you were gonna take no action.
Okay, yeah. Your name, ma'am?
Harding.
All right, looks like they came off your bond. Bail bondsman came off your bond on 22 CF 6930BO, trafficking in phenethylamines. Bond set at $100,000. With conditions, no contact with the co-defendants, do not travel outside of the state of Florida, do not possess or consume any alcohol, illegal drugs, or controlled substances, and do not possess any weapons or firearms, and surrender any passport to the clerk of the court prior to release, okay?
That was the thing I guess the lawyer was getting me today, because when the bond was posted, they didn't let me leave because they wanted me to surrender a passport, and I don't have a passport, and he said I need to go under oath to say I don't have a passport.
Do you have a lawyer?
Roger, we didn't, but that's what I told them. He told me the court was at 3 p.m. today.
Say that again?
He told me court was at 3 p.m. today.
We'll talk to Roger, we'll get it sorted out for you, okay?
Emailed you.
Well, okay, so am I getting a bond reduction?
Well, your bond's set at 100,000.
He did yeah.
He's sitting in for a bond reduction and for the passport lift.
So the bond reduction doesn't go in front of me. Those issues are heard by the judge that's assigned the case, which is Judge Wilson. So does he have a hearing at 3 o'clock with her today? Is that what it is?
I think so,
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, so that's gonna be with the judge that's assigned to the case. I'm just the judge that you just say hi to and bye to. But the judge that's assigned to the case is where Roger's at, okay? So they may actually transport you over there this afternoon, I don't know. Does the state see something different?
No, Your Honor, this is a different case.
I'm sorry,
I won't be transported over there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But it is today at 3 p.m.?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's working on that while we're doing this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay,
May I approach on the restitution order for Atkins?
sure. Ma'am, your name?
Cecilia Hoffman.
All right, you're here in 22 CF 8615 AO, possession of oxycodone and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, and she doesn't have any history. Oh, she got a juvenile arrest. I'll set your bond at $500 on count 1 and RORE on count 2.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Oh, she also qualifies for PTR if she wants PTR. If you want PTR, the bond.
I'm good. I'm just with the bond, please.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, in the back, your name, ma'am? 22 CF 8608 AO, burglary of a dwelling. Are you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Public defender.
I'm sorry?
Public defender.
Public defender, do you have a job?
No, I don't.
Any sources of income?
No, I'm in the process of moving. If I don't get out of here by Friday, I'm gonna lose everything I have.
All right. I'll go ahead, I'll appoint the office of the public defender to represent you, and I will stay your bond.
Your Honor, stay
No
with us
return,
for,
I'm sorry?
there you go. Stay with us for no return, no
Right,
contact.
yeah, no return to the scene.
And I'll qualify for PTR.
No, you got 5 felony convictions, 7 misdemeanors, 4 failure to appear, 17 unknowns. It's a lot. Some issues with contacts. All right, in the back, your name, ma'am? What is it? All right, thank you. You're out on bond on a possession of oxycodone and destruction of evidence, 22 CF 266 AO and 22 CF 8613 AO. Grant, you're here today in this new case. Grand theft, 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, possession of Xanax, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or distribute, possession of oxycodone. Review that affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, and count 1, I'll set at 150, count 2, 150, count 3, I'll stay your bond, count 4, 150, and I'll revoke your release in the case that you're, or what's the status of the case that she's out
Your
on?
Honor, that was filed in April.
Yeah, I'll revoke your release in that case, let the judge assign to that case determine what a reasonable bond is for you. All right, in the back, sir, your name? All right, you're here in 22 CF 8605 AO, possession of fentanyl, and you're also here in 22 MM 4973 AO, possession of drug paraphernalia and soliciting without a permit. Review those affidavits, found probable cause, appoint the public defenders. On the possession of fentanyl, I'll stay your bond on that case, and then on your 2 misdemeanor cases, I'll set your bond at 100 on each.
I'm sorry. I don't,
Oh, I stayed his bond on the felony and reduced his bonds on the misdemeanor to 100 on each.
1,100, 100.
thank you.
John Rainey was a refusal?
All right.
And, Your Honor, just really quick before we move on, the, Miss Medina, you did appoint us on the out on bond because she had no attorney.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Medina is refusal, you said?
Rainey.
Rainey, I'm sorry, I'm looking at Rainey. Rainey's refusal?
I will, waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. Out on bond 22 CF 3103 AO. ag assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Here today, 22 CF 55530 AO. Possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver. Possession of MDMA, ecstasy, and lawful use of a two-way communication device. This is via arrest warrant. According to this, your bond is set at $1,500 on count 1, $2,500 on count 2, $150 and $150. And I will set count 1 at $150. Count 2, I'll set at $7,500. Count 3, I'll stay. Count 4, I'll stay. And then, is he got another case as well? Is also here in 22 MM 4970 AO resisting. I'll stay the bond in that case. Appoint the public defender on that case as well. And what's the status of the case that he's out on bond?
His out on bond was filed in May. Depositions are scheduled.
All right, give me 1 second here. All right. I'll revoke his release in the case he's out on bond. Let the judge assign that, determine what a reasonable bond is. Get all that?
Reduce, raise, stay.
Yeah, 150, 7,500, and then stay, what were those, 150 each or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the resisting, I stayed at 500, and then I revoked one of these out. Okay. All right, your name, sir? What is it? 22 CF 8617 AO DUI with property damage, DUI, hit and run, and hit and run. Review the affidavits, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. I'll stay count 1. I'm sorry, count 1 I'll set at $150. Count 2 I'll reduce to 100. Count 3 100, and I'll stay count 4.
Was Rosali, was a refusal?
22 CF 8619 AO temporarily appoint waiver role. I'm sorry. Yeah, let me know when you're ready. Don't worry.
He
Take your time.
qualifies for pretrial release. He doesn't have any body to post his bond. I would just ask for pretrial release, given he has no history.
State your position.
Your Honor, state has no objection to pretrial release if the condition is no drugs or alcohol with random UA.
That's fine. What does he want? Does he want the bond or the PTR? All right. We'll order pretrial release of those 2 conditions. Oh, it was no drugs or alcohol
Do you have the warrant?
and random UAs.
'Cause I don't.
I don't see it on the clerk either.
Rosali refusal, PD temporarily appointed.
Your Honor, can we reset for tomorrow? I don't have access to the warrant. I don't believe the state has the
I don't have it
All
either.
right, we'll roll
Affidavit.
till tomorrow.
Thank you.
Your Dave? All right, you're in diversion on DUI, 22 CC 490 AE. You're here today and carrying a concealed firearm, 22 CF 8598 AO. Reviewed that affidavit, found probable cause. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney? I'm sorry? Who's your, okay, yeah, as I say, you have Ken Barlow for the DUI. So do you want to have this hearing today where I'm going to determine your bond? Right now, you currently have a bond of $2,500, but you have a hold for the diversion. So even if you post that $2,500 bond, you may not get out because of because there's a hold for the diversion. You want to go forward today and I'll make a decision as to whether or not I'm going to hold you on this diversion and set a bond on the new case, or do you want me to roll you to tomorrow and you can talk to Corey Cohen and Ken Barlow, then maybe come back with a lawyer? You want to do it today? Okay. All right. I'll stay your bond. I'll take no action on the DUI. So I stayed your bond at $2,500 and I didn't revoke your release because you're in the diversion program on the other case. Okay. All right, how about Candace Wallace?
Bonded.
Bonded? That's everybody, everything? Okay. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Nate? Oh, okay.
Keisha George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
All right.
It's just the mask. Okay.
Wow, look at that.
So I got, Maria. Okay, go next, Maria.
What is that?
¿Dónde está mi interpretor?
Oh, it might have been under all these papers.
Hello, Cisco Unity Connection Messaging System.
Qué malo.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Laura Royos, a certified interpreter and previously sworn.
All right. Could you let me know when we make the connection through the headset, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sí, sí.
Connection is established.
Your name, ma'am?
María Gómez María.
Maria Gomez Maria.
You were here in case number 22 MM 4977 AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
No. Any input from the state?
I believe DCF was called, so state would just ask for that as a condition.
Any input from the defense?
Your Honor, she does qualify for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release, given she has no history.
Okay.
State has no objection.
All right. Ma'am, would you rather post a monetary bond of $250 to be released, or be released without having to post money, but be monitored through the pretrial release program?
Okay, yo puedo dar los 200 pesos.
I can post at $200.
All right. It's $250. I'll set your bond at $250. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. And abide by any conditions that DCF imposes, if they impose any conditions. Thank you. Two Spanish or more? Oh, this is it here? 4? Okay. Your name, sir?
Ernesto Martinez.
Ernesto Martinez.
You are here in case number 22 MM 4981 AO, one count of battery, domestic violence. I reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
Your Honor, state would just bring your attention to the lack of community ties. I don't believe he's a U.S. citizen, has at least 4 prior failures to appear. State would ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
Any input from the defense?
I just ask for a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
I also believe there's a significant TV history with the same victim, Your Honor.
All right. All right, I'll set your bond at $1,000. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your name, sir?
Hermes Iván Ordóñez. Hermes Iván Ordóñez.
Hermes Ivan Ordóñez.
You are here in case number 22 MM 4966AO, one count of battery domestic violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
A state would just bring your attention that DCF was called, so would ask for that as a condition.
Any input from the defense?
I just asked for a one-time return with law enforcement, Your Honor. I'm not sure if they reside.
I'll set your bond at $500. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. If DCF imposes any conditions, you have to follow those conditions as well. Thank you.
And Your Honor, did you give a one-time return?
You want one?
With law enforcement, yes. Thank you.
You can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to get any belongings that you need.
Okay, gracias. Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Are you paying attention? You're over there chatting with Nate. He put his hands on you. Your name, sir?
Medel Sanchez. Medel Sanchez.
Medes Sanchez.
Medel Sanchez.
Medell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Is that what it is, Medell? You are here in case number 22 MM315AO on one count of battery. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause.
Came in as 9 counts, Your Honor. I
9
believe-
counts of battery. I'm
I
sorry.
believe it's an error.
Well, we have 9 counts on the sheet, right? No.
It's only one, right?
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. He's got an immigration hold?
He does, yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would just ask that you find PC only as to one count of battery and ROR as to the remaining counts. I only see one count.
State has no objection, Your Honor. I believe the officer put 9 counts. Victim claimed that he's been struck approximately 9 times.
Right.
So not PC. So state has no objection to RORing the additional 8 counts.
Any other input?
I believe DCF was also called in this case, Your Honor, as the child was allegedly involved.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'll set your bond on count 1 at $500. I'll ROR you on counts 2 through 9. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons.
And actually, Your Honor, yes, I would ask for a one-time return. I believe they live together. It's his wife.
You must abide by any conditions that DCF imposes, if they impose any conditions. And you can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings. Yeah, he's got immigration hold, yeah. All right, thank you. That's all. Madam Interpreter, if you could ask if anyone needs the services of the Spanish interpreter to please raise their hand.
¿Hay alguien más que requiere los servicios de un defensor público? Si es así, levante la mano derecha.
All right, I see no hands raised. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Bye-bye. So, if someone's going to appear virtually, how do I? I know, like on the weekends, right? We got the screen up. No, like they're up there. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I just thought that that's something we did now because I always seem to have people. Here, this is it. That's the button you hit.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
Pretty loud. We have any private attorneys logged on? Okay. All right. Your name, sir?
Miss Church.
Oh. And who do I have?
Welcome to the Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
And what attorney do I have? Logged on.
Your Honor, Corey Cohen. I have Larissa.
All right. Your name, sir?
Miss Church.
Oh. No, apparently there's.
Welcome to the You are entering the meeting now.
Oh, God. We're going to end that meeting. Yeah. What did he say? Larissa something? Larissa Menendez? We'll try that again. All right. So you are.
Welcome to an Econo meeting. You are entering the meeting now.
All right, so you're here on one count of battery, domestic by strangulation, one count of aggravated battery on a pregnant person, one count of battery, domestic violence, 22 CF 8607 AO. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender, any contact with the alleged victim.
No, Your Honor.
All right, any input from the state?
Just reasonable bond, Your Honor.
Any input from the defense?
I believe DCF was also contacted in this case.
Oh, I didn't know if it was for,
I pointed you.
oh, okay, I thought it was the private counsel. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, he's not on for a little bit.
Oh, no,
He's
Your
got a
Honor.
few more cases, then we'll get to him.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Set count 1 at $2,500, count 2 at $150, count 3 at $100. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? All right, thank you. Mr. Cohen, it's gonna take us a few minutes to get your client up, okay?
Sounds good. Sorry, I think there's a major delay.
All right. But is there an echo or just a delay?
There was an echo and a delay, but now it's better.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. All right, your name, sir?
My name is Orlando D. Duncan.
All right, sir, you're here in 22 CF 8618 AO, one count of aggravated battery domestic, a second count of aggravated battery domestic, one count of simple battery domestic, one count of aggravated child abuse. According to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender, which means I cannot appoint a lawyer to represent you, okay? So the purpose of today's hearing is to, for me to review the affidavit and make a determination if there's probable cause or a valid reason for your arrest. If I make that decision, then we set conditions of your release such as bond, all right? So you cannot get out of jail until you have this hearing, all right? So you can either go forward today without a lawyer, and we can get you conditions of release so that you can potentially get out of jail, or I can roll this to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to find a lawyer, but you'll stay in jail during those 24 hours, and then we can have that hearing tomorrow. Now, if you choose to go today without a lawyer, that doesn't stop you from getting a lawyer down the road. You want to go forward today? Do you want to roll it to tomorrow? Do you have any questions? Okay, today? Yes? All right, review the affidavit, found probable cause, any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
This is one of the one that me and the PD both agreed that we don't believe there's PC on count 1.
Okay.
There's 3 alleged victims, who make up the injuries in 2, 3, and 4. So state and defense both would ask for ROR on 1 and reasonable bonds on 2, 3, and 4.
All right, sir, so the state's asking that on count 1, you'd be released without having to post any money. Count 2, the bond, suggested bond for me would be $2,500, count 3, $150, count 4, $150. So you're looking at about $2,800 in bonds. Is that acceptable, or is there anything that you want to tell me that you think I should consider? But understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, so I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case. But is that $2,800 acceptable or not acceptable, and tell me why? If you get close to that microphone, I can't hear you.
It's not acceptable because I really don't have that money in my bank account. I don't really have a bank account.
All right.
Just living paycheck to paycheck. So I don't even know who's gonna bond me out today.
All right. You have a job and you make $800 a week?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Your Honor, state would object to you reducing it anymore. You're already treating him as subsidiaries, and he is charged with at least one F1. So the state believes the bond is incredibly reasonable, given he also has a prior failure to appear and a prior VOP, and he's not a U.S. citizen.
All right. Anything else, sir?
I don't really have a record, no, in the court system. I'm not an aggressive person. I was trying to defend myself and flee the scene. No, so,
All right. All right, count one, I'll ROR you, count two, 2,500, count three, 100, count four, 150. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Abide by any conditions that DCF imposes. You can return once with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings, okay? All right, thank you. No. No PC ROR. All right, in the back, your name, sir? All right, 22 CF 8616AO, aggravated battery on a pregnant person. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender. Any contact?
No, Your Honor.
Any input?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I think we might have somebody here for it. And then, Mr. Cohen's case is, it's a misdemeanor DV, Larissa Menezes. Can we put her on the first misdemeanor DV? Oh, we got her? Okay. Well, if we got her ready, then yeah, we'll bring her up whenever you're ready. I didn't want to make too much, because I think we only have 2 or 3 of these left. Your name?
Nyanka Camille.
All right, ma'am, is there anything that you want to tell me, anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of his release?
Yes. I've never done this before, so please bear with me. There's a lot of way that people abuse the system for their own personal reasons. And I would just like to say that I'm definitely one of those people who are here in front of the court before you. And okay. What I have to say is, yes, these things were charged, but he did none of them. Like, he's nothing but a great father to his first 2 kids, my firstborn who is not his. Like, he's treated me with nothing but respect. If you understand where I'm coming from, I've been battling demons for all my life. I should have not used the court system or the police system to try to retaliate. So for that, I am sorry. So if you could consider that in the way you decide for him today. My courage is not enough for me to say more, but I'm so sorry for bringing it here.
All right. State, do you have any questions for her?
Just one. Has there ever been prior incidences of domestic violence between the 2 of you previously?
It was once where I have hit him at a gas station.
How long ago would you say that was?
That was August, the beginning of August of last year. Since then, I am now pregnant. Like I say, I do apologize for using the system to retaliate for whatever aggression or whatever feeling of, like, hate at the moment. During the call of arrest, somebody told me it's a baby choking and dying on the way to the hospital, So again, you guys can just take my words into consideration that I have learned a lesson in this, also not only to, the people who are around, but if I could go back, I wouldn't have done it.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for her?
No questions, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
No, Your Honor. There was that 2021 BAT DV with Miss Camille as the alleged victim, however, it was no billed.
Any input from the defense?
I just asked when sending the bond, you take into consideration the testimony given here by the victim, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set his bond at $1,000. State any input with regards to contact?
Your Honor, state would ask for no contact, even with the victim's testimony. I believe it's alleged that there have been multiple calls to that residence by law enforcement that day. And there are several other prior BAT DV arrests by Mr. Huntley, so state would ask for no contact at this time, taking into account the victim's safety and the safety of the unborn child. However, understanding that it's within your discretion to do a no hostile given the victim's testimony.
Ma'am, do you want him to come home, or do you need some time to
I,
sort things
like I
out?
say, I want him to come home because, like I say, I use the process in a negative way. I use it in a negative way. Like I say, I don't want to swear to God, but God is my witness that he is a very good man. He is. He is. Like a lot of things have whatever transpired in the past, but since I've been pregnant, there's nothing like that has been happening.
All right, I'll order no hostile contact. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons? All right, thank you. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
All right, your name, sir?
Simon Ramos.
All right, 22 CF 8603 AO, battery by strangulation. Review the affidavit. Found probable cause. Appoint the public defender.
Your Honor, this was one I had PC on
All right.
as well.
What do you want to tell me?
Based on the arrest affidavit, the alleged victim stated everything happened so fast. There was no indication that her breathing was restricted, which is required in order to have a battery by strangulation. So I would argue no PC as to the battery by strangulation.
All right, state.
Your Honor, I believe that's correct. There's no other information within the affidavit other than observing the victim's neck being bright red, but nothing to show her breathing was impeded or the blood flow was impeded. So state would just ask for a simple BAT DV at this time.
So in there it says that Simon turned around, walked behind her, placed his hand around her neck forcefully, and choked her. That's not enough.
I do not believe so, just for PC, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What's the statute on that?
A simple BAT DV would be 784.03.
All right, ma'am, your name?
Kayla Ramos.
If you get closer to the microphone, I'm sorry.
Kayla Ramos.
All right. Is there anything that you want to tell me, ma'am? Anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of his release?
One, his history. Two, he told me there's two ways out. It's an early grave or God. And he's been calling my his family and like having them call my family since he's been in here, and he's reached out to me numerous times since he's been here. I haven't accepted any of his phone calls, but it's been nothing but threats before the police showed up. I don't doubt for a single second with everything that's happened and everything he has done in his past that if he walks out of here, I'm a dead woman walking. Like, I promise you that. He's outright threatened me. He attacked me for the first time. And I've been dealing with this man for years. I left before. He found me, came after my kids, took me back, and I've been trying to leave since. This is my way out. Like, this is it. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore.
All right, state.
Your Honor, taking it to the victim's testimony, there's no way to hold him no bond as he's not out on
Do
bond.
you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sorry. You can continue.
Sorry. State would just ask for a bond, take into account that he is a multi-state offender. I don't have access to those cases as they are out of state. However, they are aggressive in nature in both convictions and arrests. So state would ask that you take that into account when setting his bond as he is otherwise entitled to it at this time. And I'll let the ASA in charge of this case know. See if they want to file a pretrial detention motion, but state does not have one at this time.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I just asked that you consider the fact that his last conviction was all the way back in 2013, when setting the bond in this case.
All right, so ma'am, he is entitled to a bond in this case. The state and the PD agreed that this would be actually a misdemeanor arrest as opposed to a felony arrest. So I have to take those things into consideration as well as your testimony today. So I'm going to double what would be the standard bond amount. That's $1,000. I'm going to order no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. The no contact means no calling her and no having your family call her. You understand?
Sure.
Okay. State attorney's going to talk to the actual attorney that's on the case, and they're going to see what they can do about
She took all her stuff in there.
filing some kind of motion to kind of help you out a little bit more, okay? You have any
Your Honor-
questions? All right.
Your Honor, before she leaves, I just want to verify, my client is stating that she left the house. I just want to make sure, because I don't want him to violate the no contact order. He said she left the house and removed all of her belongings.
That's not true. We're currently in the house now.
You said you're currently in the house?
Correct.
Okay, so can he just have that one-time return with law
All
enforcement?
right, you can return one time with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings.
This case was a misdemeanor DV 783.0.
Whatever the statute was that she gave you.
78403-1A. 1A, yes.
Just don't go back there.
And ma'am, I'm giving you a card. It has our phone number as well as this case number and his name on it. Whenever you have a chance, if you want to give us a call, we'll also put you in touch with that ASA, okay?
Misdemeanor battery.
She can't. You have to go a different route, which is calling the attorney.
What did she say, 1A?
I'm telling you, if she comes around.
Well, the state can always change their mind if that's the statute they're using. That's the statute. All right, thank you. Ma'am, in the back, your name?
Stephanie Smith.
All right, 22 CF 8620AO, grand theft of a motor vehicle with a mask, battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and battery domestic. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, any contact,
No, Your Honor.
any input?
And Your Honor, this is another one that me and the PD spoke
Mask.
about, the mask.
Mhm.
I don't see any allegation of a mask.
Yeah.
So say we just ask for grand theft motor vehicle,
All right.
and I can pull the statute
This
on
is-
that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So we're gonna have, Menezes next, right? All right.
Your Honor, defense would just ask that you set a reasonable bond, given, I don't see any convictions on the record.
All right, count one's gonna be reduced to, grand theft of a motor vehicle.
That is 812.014, sub 2, sub C, sub 6.
Sub C, sub 6. All right, I'll set your bond on that count at $2,500, count 2 at $150, count 3 at $100. No contact with the alleged victim, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay?
Okay, I have a quick,
Hold on, talk to your lawyer real quick.
And that statute is what? What's the name? What is this one?
Grand theft of a motor vehicle, GTA.
And Your Honor, may she have a one-time return with law enforcement to gather her belongings?
I can't remember, do they live together?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, yeah, you can return once with the assistance of law enforcement to retrieve your belongings.
Okay, could I take him? But you gotta call law enforcement.
Thank you. All right, ma'am, your name
Larissa.
and your last name, Larissa?
Menezes de Freitas.
All right, you were here in 22 MM 4975AO, one count of battery domestic, and can I get appearance for defense?
Thank you, Judge. Corey Cohen on behalf of Ms. Freitas.
All right, and then your name, sir?
Nicholas Bilia?
All right, is there anything that you want to tell me, sir?
Yeah, I think this is an entirely misunderstanding here. I was not the one who called the police. She actually was. I think this had a lot to do with alcohol consumption.
We're getting that echo back.
Sorry, what?
Keep going.
I think this had a lot to do with alcohol consumption and a misunderstanding. I understand that the county's laws incite that somebody has to leave in handcuffs. I instructed the officers that I'm not pressing charges on Larissa here. So just wanted to make that clear to the court.
All right, Mr. Cohen, do you have any questions for him?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right. State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any input from the state?
Your Honor, state would just bring to your attention the lack of community ties. I believe they're both from New York. So state's only concern is their willingness to come back to court to handle these charges if they are otherwise filed.
Any input from the defense?
Judge, I can tell you, I mean, the family hired us. We're going to make sure that all court dates are handled. The victim sounds like he wants to drop the charges. Clearly, they want contact. We just asked the court. I don't know if the court's willing to ROR with no hostile contact at this point, but we are on the case, Your Honor. Judge, I can tell you.
Can we do PTR on her? Does she want PTR? I can do PTR, no hostile.
I'd rather do a monetary bond than
All right.
PTR.
$250, no hostile contact. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, and do not consume any illegal drugs or alcohol while you're out on release, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you for being here, sir. Is that it for you, Mr. Cohen?
Yes, thank you, Judge. Have a
All right,
good
see you
one.
later. Your name, sir?
You are the only participant.
Alameda, last name, first name John.
All right, 2022 MM49. 250, no hostile. And no guns and no drugs. All right, you're here in 22 MM4979AO, one count of battery, domestic, reviewed. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney? Is that for the afternoon or this morning?
This is for
I'll represent myself, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right. Review the affidavit, found probable cause. Ma'am, your name?
Rebecca Alameda.
All right, ma'am, is there anything that you want to tell me about this? Anything you think I should consider in determining conditions of his release?
I don't think I'm in any danger. I would like for him to be home. I just called because I needed to get back in the house. I had an infant in the home. And I wasn't allowed to be in the house. That was the only reason. I don't fear for my life. I don't think he's a danger of any kind. So I don't want him to be held any more than he's already.
State, do you have any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any input, State?
No, Your Honor. Just reasonable bond.
All right, sir, I could set your bond at $250, or I can release you on pretrial release. You don't have to post a bond, but you'll be monitored through the pretrial release program, make sure that you're compliant with the conditions. Would you rather post a monetary bond or be released on the PTR without having to post any money but be monitored?
I'm sorry, I'm new to this, but I guess post the bond would be the smarter thing to do, no?
Well, I can't tell you what's smarter or not smarter. It's up to you. You can either post the money and then we rely on you to comply, or not post any money and then we make sure that you comply.
I'll post the money.
Okay. All right. The conditions of your release are no hostile contact. No hostile contact means no physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, or emotional abuse. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
What was the amount?
$250. All right. Sir, your name?
Renee Joseph Avila.
All right, 2022 MM4980AO, one kind of battery, domestic violence. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any contact with the alleged victim?
No, Your Honor.
Any input from the state?
Your Honor, just that he has a very lengthy criminal history, several violations of parole, showing an inability to comply with court order. So the state's just concerned regarding his history that they are violent offenses.
Any input from the defense?
No, Your Honor, I just asked that you set a reasonable bond.
All right, set your bond at $750. No contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your name?
Tanya Carlisle Francis.
All right, you were here in 2022 MM4976AO, one kind of battery. Review the affidavit, found probable cause, appoint the public defender. Any contact?
No, Your Honor.
Any input?
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
Your Honor, I would just ask for a maintain separate residence. Contact was made with the victim who stated he was moving out. So, I would just ask for a maintain separate residence.
All right. I'll set your bond at $500. No contact with the alleged victim. No return to the scene. Maintain separate residence. Do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. You can return once with the assistance of law enforcement. If they determine that he doesn't live there, then you can stay there, okay?
Yes.
Your name, ma'am? All right, 2022 MM 4978 AO, one count of battery, domestic, review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, any contact,
No, Your Honor.
any input,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
Okay. Yeah, no, Your Honor, I just asked that you set a reasonable bond.
All right, $500, no contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? In the back, sir, your name?
Okay.
Christian Oliver.
All right, 22 MM 4971 AO, one count of battery, dating violence, review the affidavit, found probable cause, point the public defender, any contact?
Nope.
Input?
No, Your Honor.
He's on probation right now? Okay, does he have a hold?
Well, he has the VFO at Seahold.
Oh, okay. All right, defense?
Nope. No
All right,
comment.
I'll set your bond at $1,000. No contact, no return, maintain separate residence, do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Looks like you got a hold, you're on probation for burglary with assault. So even if you post that bond, you may not get out, okay? Your name, ma'am?
Sabrina Polonese.
All right, 22 MM 4969 AO, one count of battery, dating violence. Reviewed the affidavit, found probable cause. Ma'am, according to your financial affidavit, you do not qualify for the services of the public defender. The public defender is for individuals that are indigent that cannot afford a lawyer. The purpose of the hearing today is twofold. One, for me to review the affidavit and make a determination as to whether or not there is probable cause or a valid reason for your arrest. If I do that, then I need to determine conditions of your release, okay? So two things.
What that mean?
I'll explain it to you. So one, I needed to figure out should or should you not have been arrested, right?
No, because he.
Just, it's all right.
I'm sorry.
Listen, I'll give you every opportunity to say whatever you want to say. Just, if you want me to explain it to you, I'll explain it to you, and then you can say whatever you want to say. So I've got to do two things today. The first one is figure out if there's a valid reason for your arrest, and what I'm bound by is what's written in this report here, okay? So I read this report, if it sounds like they've met all the elements of a crime, and I say, yes, they can arrest you, all right? Then if I say yes, then we have to determine what you need to do to get out of jail, right? If you need to post a bond and how much, and then once you get out, what conditions, if any, should apply, okay? Like, don't have any guns or something along those lines. So, you can't get out of jail until we have the hearing, all right?
What's the hearing?
I'm sorry?
Hearing for what?
What I just said.
Oh.
Are you doing all right? Okay, just relax. Like I said, I'll give you your opportunity. Just listen to me and make sure you listen, because that'll help. So, the hearing where I make those two determinations, right? I got to make the first one to make the second one. If I don't make the first one, you walk out of here. So, we can have the hearing today without a lawyer, or I can roll it to tomorrow, give you 24 hours to hire a lawyer. So you want to go today? Okay, just relax. Relax. I want to make sure that you know that you're able to do this. All right. Review the affidavit, found probable cause. Any input, any contact from the state?
No contact, Your Honor. State would just bring your attention to several other bad DV arrests.
Yep, I've seen them. Different victims.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yep. Okay. So, ma'am, what I am offering you today is if you want to get out of jail, you would have to post a $500 bond.
How much is that?
It's $500. $500 bond is $500. You can use a bail bondsman and pay $100. The conditions of your release once you get out of jail are no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain a separate residence, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons, okay? Now, hold on. You're gonna give me 15 more seconds and then you'll have your opportunity. Is that acceptable, or is there anything that you want to tell me? But understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So I would caution you to talk about the facts of the case. Is there anything that you want to tell me that I should consider? Now's your time.
Yeah, but he did something to me. Why he not in jail? The police told me that he was going to jail.
So that's a question. So my answer, right? I mean, that's a question. If he hits you, why isn't he going to jail? The answer is I don't know. The first time I see these cases is at about 8 o'clock this morning when I read the affidavits. So that might be a question for law enforcement. I don't, if I had an answer, I'd give it to you. I don't know. And maybe he did get arrested.
Okay.
I don't see that he was. All right. Do you have any other questions or anything you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I believe she lives in the apartment below his.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I live at 1032 Federal Street.
That's all right. We're good.
Okay.
Get out of here. Good luck, ma'am, okay? All right. All right, your name? Your last name? All right, 22MM 429AW, one count of battery domestic. Review the affidavit. Were you interested in the services of the public defender? Did you want to represent yourself or hire a private attorney?
Represent myself.
You want to represent yourself? All right. Review the affidavit, found probable cause. State any contact?
No, Your Honor.
Any input?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. So I've inclined to set your bond at $500 with conditions: no contact with the alleged victim, no return to the scene, maintain separate residence, and do not possess any guns, knives, or weapons. Were you in here when I was talking to the young lady before you?
Yes.
Okay. So understand that as a defendant, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Is that acceptable, or is there anything that you want to tell me?
No, that's it.
I'm sorry?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You said 500, right?
Yes. Your name, sir?
Tom Barfield.
All right, sir. Seminole County wants you in case number 22386 CFA. It's 4 out-of-county warrants, expired tag more than 6 months, possession of oxycodone, possession of hydrocodone, and driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. According to this, your bond on each of those is set at, I believe, no bond. Give me a quick second here. I can't pull it up. It's for failure to appear for a docket sounding, and Judge Chase. It's no bond, right? Yeah, no bond. All right, Seminole County has 24 hours to come pick you up starting now. You have any questions? All right, thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Really white.
All right, Brevard County wants you in case number 2021 CF 43316AO, 4 out-of-county warrants, tampering with the victim, robbery, sudden snatching, battery with a victim 65 years or older, and a petty theft. According to this warrant, your bond is set at $20,000 on count 1, $5,000 on 2, $5,000 on 3, and $1,000 on 4. Brevard County has 24 hours to come pick you up starting now. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Rashad Fisher was a refusal.
Fisher, 22 CF 3998 AO, temporarily appoint the PD waiver roll.
Waive, Your Honor.
All right, here on a VOP on those, the bond is set at no bond. All right, and then your name, ma'am?
Emma Torres.
All right, 22MM 2799 AO, violation of probation on a battery. According to this, your bond is set at no bond. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. Is that everybody for this morning?
Yeah.
All right. I got some 33 days. Are we ready on those, or do we need a minute?
I'm ready.
Fence ready? It's whatever everybody else wants to do.
I think it probably have headsets put on.
Necesita.
You don't have headsets?
No, Your Honor, we usually do it over the overhead mic. He can hear the interpreter through the system.
Okay, excellent. So, Mr. Perez Aragon, if you could please raise your right hand.
Señor Pérez Aragón, por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Usted juró afirma decir toda la verdad.
Mr. Perez,
Yes, I swear.
Mr. Perez Aragon, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Señor Pérez Aragón, usted escucha y entiende a nuestro intérprete. Yes, of course.
Okay. And counsel, are you the public defender at the jail?
Oh, I'm sorry, counsel. I'm sorry, you need to allow the interpreter, please. Usted es el defensor público ahí en la cárcel.
Yes, Your Honor, John Mancini on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Sí, su señoría, licenciado John Mancini, representando al defensor público.
And for the record, Mr. Perez Aragon's spouse is here.
Para que conste en acta, se encuentra la esposa del señor Pérez Aragón.
And State, did you want to speak with the victim?
Fiscalía, ¿ustedes querían hablar con la víctima?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Cynthia Carrasco for the state. I had the opportunity to speak to her prior to.
Do you know what her position is on whether or not?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. My apologies, Judge. I just needed to interpret that, please. Es la licenciada Cynthia Carrasco, su señoría. Ya yo había hablado con ella antes de la vista.
Yes, Your Honor. I inquire in regards to contact. She wishes to have contact with the defendant.
Sí, su señoría, yo hablé con ella referente al trato con la víctima o con el acusado. Ella desea tener trato con el acusado.
Sí, sí.
Yes.
Sí, nosotros tenemos más de 11 años de casado. O sea, de unión libre tenemos 11 años y medio. Tenemos 2 niños, uno de 10, uno de 5.
Un momentico. Yes, we've been married for 11 years. Actually, we've been together for 11 years. We've been married for a year and a half, and we have 2 children together, a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Did DCF remove the children from your home?
¿DCF removió los niños del hogar?
No. Los niños están conmigo.
No, the children are with me.
Yo quiero estar con mi esposo. Es primera vez que nosotros pasamos por esto porque nosotros estamos llegando al país y estamos yendo de la dictadura de allá de Venezuela.
Momentico, señora, por favor, déme la oportunidad. I want to be able to be with my husband. This is the first time anything like this has ever happened. We've just recently arrived to the country. We've been fleeing the dictatorship in Venezuela.
Y es primera vez que sucede.
And this is the first time that this has occurred.
Is there any ICE hold on him?
¿Tiene un retén de inmigración?
Dígame.
Excuse me?
I'm asking the clerk / the correctional officers. There's any other hold on him?
Le estoy preguntando a los actuarios o oficiales de corrección si existe un retén de inmigración.
State, do you know if there's any ICE hold on him?
¿Retén, saben ustedes si tienen un retén de inmigración?
I do not have that information, Your Honor.
Okay.
No tengo esa información, su señoría.
State, do you have any objection to me giving him an ROR with no hostile contact with the family?
Fiscalía, ¿tiene usted alguna objeción a que se le dé libertad bajo palabra prohibiéndole contacto hostil con la familia?
Your Honor, pre-trial release, Crystal Osborne. I was just notified that there is an ICE hold in place for him.
Su señoría es el Departamento de Libertad Provisional. Me acaban de avisar que él tiene un retén de inmigración.
¿Qué es eso?
What is that?
That means the federal government, through our immigration system, has put a hold on you.
Eso significa que el gobierno federal, mediante los servicios de inmigración, le ha puesto a usted un retén.
Public defender, I'm going to appoint you all to represent him. I don't know if you can offer him assistance.
Vamos a designar a las oficinas del defensor público para que lo representen, a ver si le pueden dar algún tipo de ayuda.
Por favor. Primera vez.
No, ma'am. She needs to have a seat in the lobby.
Necesitamos que usted tome asiento en el área público. Usted no se le permite interrumpir la vista.
Gallery, please.
Mr. Public Defender, I'm happy to give him a release on his own recognizance.
Defensor
with no
público,
hostile, sorry.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, go right ahead.
With no hostile contact with the family.
Defensor público, yo estoy dispuesto a darle libertad bajo palabra, prohibiéndole contacto hostil con la familia.
Can you assist him in putting him in touch with somebody that can help him with the ICE hold?
¿Usted lo puede ayudar a él para ponerlo en contacto de alguien que le pueda asesorar sobre el retén de inmigración?
Your Honor, when I get back to my office, I will be happy to see what resources we can provide in that regard.
Su señoría, cuando yo regrese a mi oficina, yo con mucho gusto puedo tratar de conseguirle recursos.
So you realize that by me releasing him on this, he's not going to get any credit for time he's in there after today?
Usted entiende que yo al liberarlo, él no le van a dar crédito después del día de hoy. Entiendo, su señoría.
All right, so that's what the court's going to do over the strenuous objection of the state. Release him on his own recognizance with no hostile contact with his wife or any other family member.
Sobre las objeciones de la fiscalía, le vamos a dar libertad bajo palabra. No puede tener contacto hostil con su esposa o su familia.
And if the public defender will monitor whether he gets out of jail in case they set an arraignment, that you all will know to have him pulled from the jail for the arraignment. Okay.
Si ustedes pueden monitorear si él lo libera de la cárcel en caso de que se programe una vista incoatoria para que lo puedan traer de la cárcel a la vista.
All right.
Sí,
All right, thank you very much. Good luck.
Buena suerte, muchas gracias. Your Honor, the interpreter can respectfully request the case number for this defendant, please.
22 MM 1661.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
All right. And the next case is Juan Torres Galileo? No, Gallego?
Would you mind spelling that, Your Honor?
Sure. This is case number 2022 CF 2127. And it's Juan, and the last name is hyphenated Torres, Torrez, hyphen Gallego.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thanks. Okay. Mr. Torres Gallo, if you please raise your right hand for me.
Señor Torres Gallego, por favor, levante la mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Usted jura afirma decir toda la verdad. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Señor, usted escucha y entiende al intérprete. I'm sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter did not hear a response from the defendant.
That's because he didn't give one. Sir, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Señor, usted escucha y entiende a nuestro intérprete. Yes.
Okay. You've been charged, and I'll find probable cause on aggravated battery on a pregnant person.
Señor, usted lo han acusado de agresión agravada a una mujer embarazada. Determino que existen indicios razonables.
Madam State Attorney, have you had contact with the alleged victim?
Fiscalía, ¿han tenido usted trato con la presunta víctima?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
And we have no victim present here, correct?
Y la víctima no está aquí presente, ¿verdad?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. Madam State Attorney, what bond do you want?
Sí, vamos a designar las oficinas del defensor público fiscal. ¿Qué indica usted sobre la fianza? Un momento, su señoría.
Your Honor, state would leave that at the court discretion.
Señoría, la fiscalía lo dejaría en la discreción de su señoría.
Defense, what are you suggesting, bond?
Defensa, ¿qué sugiere usted sobre la fianza?
As to the exact amount, I would leave that to the court, Your Honor, but I would ask the court to take notice of the fact that alcohol was a factor in this and that there was some provocation on behalf of the alleged victim that may have ignited this, and ask for as low as the court feels is acceptable, Your Honor.
Su señoría, sobre la cantidad, eso lo dejaré a la discreción de usted, pero quiero que usted tome en cuenta que alcohol fue un factor y también que hubo cierta provocación por parte de la presunta víctima, por lo tanto estamos pidiendo que se programe una fianza lo más reducida posible.
State, do you have any idea what his record is?
Fiscalía, ¿tienen usted alguna idea sobre el antecedente penal?
1 second, Your Honor.
Un momento, su señoría.
Your Honor, pretrial release, I have no prior arrest for the defendant.
Okay.
Su señoría, según el Departamento de Libertad Provisional, indica que no tiene antecedente penal
And there is also an ICE detainer in place for him.
y
Okay.
él también tiene un retén de inmigración.
So I'll continue to appoint the public defender.
Voy a designar las oficinas del defensor público.
I'm going to give him a $5,000 bond
Le voy a programar una fianza de $5,000.
as a condition of his bond. He's not to have any contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim.
Como condición de su libertad y de su fianza, no se le permitirá contacto directo e indirecto con la presunta víctima.
And Mr. Torres Gallego, I understand from what the staff just told me that there is a hold on you for immigration.
Señor Torres Gallego, según lo que me acaban de indicar el personal, usted tiene un retén de inmigración.
So if you post the bond, more than likely the federal government may actually grab you.
Así es que si usted paga la fianza, es muy probable que el gobierno federal lo venga a detener.
All right. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias.
Mr. Interpreter, I believe that is it for my docket, right? Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks. You do the same. Bye. I hit end. Who knows if it worked? Me and technology are not too good. All right, I'm ready, if everybody else is, on Brian Kersey, which is 2022 CF 2116.
Mr. President, and approaching, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Kersey, you've been arrested by way of a warrant for aggravated stalking, impersonating a police officer, and written threats to kill or injure. Did that warrant have a bond on it, or was it no bond?
Zero bond.
There is a bond? I don't see it. Do you know what the bond is? And is it individually?
Your Honor, if I may, I'm holding the paperwork in my hand, and I see that no bonds have been set on any of the three counts, that all listed as none,
Okay.
but not zero. So at this time, we would request, Your Honor, set reasonable bonds.
All right. So I'll appoint the public defender. State, what do you want? I'm sorry? This is the judge. What?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I thought I was calling the clerk. This is the interpreter. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
I had an interpreter, and
Oh,
we
this
just.
is the interpreter, Your Honor. I thought I was calling the line for the clerk.
Oh.
I just wanted to confirm your name. My apologies for interrupting.
Oh, my name is Gail, Gail, middle initial A, last name is Adams, Adams, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. My apologies for interrupting the hearing.
Not a problem. I don't know how to turn the thing off, sorry. It's probably my inability to push the button. Thanks.
Your Honor, at this time, State will leave that to the discretion of the court.
What kind of record does he have?
Checking, Your Honor.
Thanks. I mean, I've got a long printout here, but I can't tell if there's been any convictions or just arrests or what.
Your Honor, pretrial release, he has history dating back to 2003 for grand theft, petty theft, violation of probation, stalking, contributing delinquency to a minor, driving while license suspended and revoked, amphetamine sale, stalking in 2015, conditional release violation in 2021.
Does he actually meet criteria for Jessica Lunsford? I just, when I was flipping through this stuff, it says Osceola County Corrections Department, it's checked off, he's HRSO, and then it says inmate meets criteria for Jessica Lunsford, which means he would.
That's the information I have also.
Okay. So do you know, under Jessica Lunsford, that requires an ankle monitor when you're released, correct?
He does have a hold in place for a GPS monitor.
All right. All right, so as stalking, aggravated stalking, bond's going to be set at $100,000 as a condition of bond, not to have contact with the alleged victim directly or indirectly, which means no social media posting, no reaching out electronically or in any other form of communication. Count 2, impersonating a law enforcement officer, I'll set that bond at $15,000, and threats I'll set that at $15,000 with the same conditions, no reaching out to any victim and/or witnesses. I'll appoint the public defender. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, will you be taking any action on the case that he's out on probation?
Is it felony probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, he's got no bond on that. He'll be anti-murder for sure. If he's got Jessica Lunsford and he's on felony probation, he's anti-murder, he'll get no bond. Thank you. All right, now I'm ready on Mr. John Griffin, 21 CF, so 2021 CF 3478. Is that
There's a private counsel here for that case. He will be approaching the podium now.
Okay, thank you. Is this a VOP?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon.
Jeremiah Allen on behalf of Mr. Griffin. He's approaching.
So this is this a warrant?
Yes. It was a warrant. My client was living in California at the time the warrant came out.
It looks like it's no bond.
It is.
Is he on felony probation?
He is not, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I may briefly here, Mr. Griffin lived in Osceola County for the first 25 years of his life. After that time, he moved to the state of California. Unbeknownst to him, this was about a 3-year, this crime was related, I think it was filed about 3 years after the alleged incident. He was also married to the alleged victim for some time, and it was brought up during around the time of divorce proceedings. So he was held in California for a bit, and then obviously transferred back here to Osceola County. So I would ask that the court consider setting a bond in the case of $10,000 to each count.
We had to extradite him from California?
Yeah, Your Honor, what happened is, yes, you did, yeah.
State, what do you want bond-wise?
Your Honor, state objects to a bond in this case. And in addition, we ask for no contact with the victim and no contact with minors.
Well, I have no problem with that kind of condition. You say no bond?
No bond, Your Honor,
Is he
in this
entitled
case.
to a bond? Is there an information charged, filed?
This was actually a direct info file.
Okay, let me see if I can find it.
I can print it for you.
Can you?
Is this in reference
We're
to
gonna
the
put it up
case
on my screen.
that he's here on, that you're asking has the charges been filed?
I'm sorry? Say again?
Are you asking have the charges been filed in the case that he's here on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they have been.
And can you tell me what the information is? Well, are you printing the information? Okay. Hang on a second. Thanks. On a charge that's punishable by life, is he entitled to a bond?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, I'll set bond at none on counts 1, 2, and 3, sir. I presume you've got an arraignment date, or do I arraign him now?
This court date is on demand. He doesn't have a future court date as of now.
So do you want me to arraign him now or set him down on arraignment docket? Because that's an information, it needs to be set for something.
The clerks for the assigned judge, which is Judge Carson, will put him on there.
Okay, can I keep this? Thank you. All right, thank you very much, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May we please
Do you want to hear any arguments relating to the bond being set?
Did earlier, Alan. Can you, sorry, counsel, I was talking to the clerk. Counsel, could you announce your name for the record again, please?
Jeremiah Allen.
There you go. And, sir, you had a question for me?
Yes, would you be willing to hear any further arguments relating to bond or?
No, sir. No, sorry. You can take that up with Judge Karsten. I'm going to give a copy of the information to Judge Carson's JA to make sure it gets scheduled on his arraignment docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks.
Your Honor, what were the conditions of this case?
No contact with any victim or witness, but he's got no bond. So, didn't think I needed to really announce it, but, so no bond on counts 1, 2, or 3, And if he does make no bond, which kind of makes no sense, can't have contact with victim or witnesses.
Thank you, Your Honor, that's all I have. Have a nice day.
No contact with the minors.
Right, yeah, sure. Neat. Okay, I'm ready if everybody else is on. I was going to try to do Mr. Griffin, John Griffin. That's the man I just did, never mind. James Lawrence, sorry.
He's present and approaching, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Mr. Karsten, you've been arrested on probable cause on aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Any victim here? I don't see anybody.
I have an Annalise Paulino.
State what's the relationship between the alleged victim and this defendant?
Based on the information and the fact of the case, Your Honor, there is nothing indicating that they have, any relation,
They live in the same residence?
live in the same residence.
May defense be heard, Your Honor?
As long as it's not from the defendant.
That is where I gained my information, Your Honor.
Well, you don't need to tell me that, but you can relay whatever you'd like to me. I just don't want to ask your client any questions, and I don't want to make any statements.
Just for me, Your Honor, I've been informed that they were guests at that residence, and they have since moved out after this incident and have vacated the premises.
So they being your client and somebody else?
My client was obviously arrested, but the two, the witness and the AV who were at the residence have since, they were invited guests, I believe, by the person who owns the house. My client's mother, if I remember the affidavit correctly, and they have since vacated the premises after this event has occurred and gone back to wherever they are from, Your Honor.
They are your client and another human being?
No, Your Honor, I believe there was a witness and the victim.
So you use pronouns like they, I don't know who you mean. So you're saying two people that left this house, not including your client,
Yes, Your Honor.
is the alleged victim and another human
The
being?
witness who saw the event transpire was one guest, and then the AV who was actually alleging what occurred in the arrest affidavit. Both were staying as guests at the residence.
And is that the residence that your client lives in?
I believe so, but let me confirm, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, that is his primary residence.
State, do you know anything to the contrary to that?
I don't have any further information, Your Honor.
So what's state's position on a bond?
State will request, a high bond in this case, Your Honor, based on the facts of the case.
Okay. Well, it does seem to indicate a firearm was involved, which would be a reason to give a higher bond than I normally would. However, it does indicate on the screening process that this defendant has, in fact, property in the state of Florida.
Your Honor, the address that was provided on the charging affidavit where he resides is different than the address where the incident occurred.
So that's his home, all indications.
They're saying that, the public defender saying that that's his home, but on the charging affidavit, it's a different address for his residence.
Yeah, his permanent address is on Wood Lane, and this allegedly occurred on Peppermill Circle, right?
it might be probable that 498 Pepper Mill, where the incident happened, is the mother's home,
Okay.
where the witness and the victim were being allowed to reside according to the charging affidavit, or to stay there.
Okay. So, Mr. Public Defender, I'm going to give him a bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
The conditions of the bond are he's not to return to 498 Peppermill Circle. He's not to have direct or indirect contact with any alleged victim or witness, which could include his mom. If his mom's a witness, then he can't have direct or indirect contact with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll set the bond amount of $5,000 with those provisions.
Your Honor, may I be heard on the amount, or just to offer some mitigation?
Sure.
I've been informed by my client that he is the primary breadwinner in his family currently and has a daughter who is suffering from a brain tumor who requires his financial and physical support to get the medical treatment she requires. Would this court respectfully lower that bond based on any of this mitigation?
State what kind of record does he have?
He only had criminal traffic history, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll set it at $2,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, now I'm ready on Martino Lins, 2022 MM1660.
President approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on battery. I'll appoint the public defender's office. State, what do you want for as far as a bond goes? What relationship is between this defendant and the alleged victim?
I believe they are a couple, Your Honor. They have been in a relationship since 2012.
If I'm reading this right, the defendant may have a bite mark on his ear. And according to the arrest report, he also is a reporter to the police. State, what are you asking as far as bond goes?
They would leave that up to the court's discretion, Your Honor. But we also request no alcohol and to maintain separate residence with the victim.
Okay, it says both parties were photographed. It looks like both parties were bloody. No children in common.
Your Honor, may defense be heard on bond?
Sure.
Defense has no request to the stated requirements of no alcohol and separate residence at this time, Your Honor, but we would respectfully ask this court to consider setting a lower bond, possibly in the range of $500 in this case. As Your Honor has indicated, it looks like it may have been an incident involving mutual issues between the parties.
Yep.
And there is no evidence to show that my client is an immediate or any dangerous threat to the rest of the community, and he was willing to contact police himself and cooperated with the investigation.
That's true. All right, court's bond in the amount of $500. He's not to have hostile contact with the victim or any witnesses. You're not to use or possess alcohol. You're not a bartender or anything like that, are you? No. Okay. So no alcohol while this is pending till you come back to court. Another judge may change that, but right now, no drinking, okay?
Not drinking, right?
Right, no drinking.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I believe my last one is Lordy Pierre.
President approaching, Your Honor.
This, we're on the record in 2022 CF 2125.
Your Honor, for the last case, it was just no hostile contact.
No hostile.
No witnesses and no consumption of possession of alcohol.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Looks
Excuse me,
good
Your
for-
Honor, if I may.
Yes, yes. ma'am.
For that case, the Madam Clerk is talking about, are we also adding this separate residence condition?
I'm not doing that right now, no.
Understood.
Well, it was mutual combat. I can't tell whether they're living together or not, but I wasn't going to upset the apple cart.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thanks. Okay, so, Ms. Lordy, let's see here. Find probable cause on battery and child abuse. State, can you tell me, is the victim, the alleged victim, her younger brother?
Yes, Your Honor, that's what I gathered from the facts in the case.
And this alleged victim is how old? 10?
10.
Almost 10?
10 and 14.
Your Honor, the victim also has oppositional defiance disorder,
Yeah,
according to the charging affidavit.
it's a teenager, right? The victim's a teenager. So I'll appoint the public defender's office. State, can you tell me what kind of record she has?
Checking, Your Honor.
You.
We don't see any history in our system at this time, Your Honor.
Do you show whether or not DCF was called in and had the teenager, the two alleged victims removed?
DCF was contacted. I cannot see if the children were removed. I believe they were left with the victim's mother.
Public defender, can you tell me whether or not your client has a place to live where the victims are not going to be?
Yes, may I have one moment, Your Honor?
Sure.
Your Honor, she does have a different place to reside that the AVs in this case do not come to or visit.
Okay. All right. Over the strenuous objection of the state, I'm going to release her on her own recognizance, conditions of the ROR, that's on, as to both counts, or she's not to have hostile contact with any witnesses and no direct or indirect contact with the alleged victims, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. I guess the state will make a filing decision and let you know when to come back to court.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Is that it?
Your Honor, that was ROR,
ROR, yes, ma'am.
and that's the last case.
Yep. I think that's it. So I'm in